your state champion, Clinton-Massie Falcons. Coach, I'm looking at some of these highlights, and I can take up the full 10 minutes just talking about your guys without even asking you a question. First state championship, second region championship in a row. You guys had 2 running backs over 1,700 yards. I keep going on and on. Defensive player of the year back there from Division 4. Another guy with 135 tackles. Your team was amazing. 14 of your 15 opponents you held at 14 points or less. 10 of those you held under 10 points. I think 6 shutouts. Amazing on both sides of the ball. Coach, talk about what it was like to get that first state championship.
Well, like Trent spoke on it a little bit ago, these guys have been so close so many years, and they were just determined. I think a lot of it had to do with the expectations of our senior leaders. They just brought everybody along, but I just think it was that. It was just experience of being there before and being so close and knowing that it was actually possible to get it done, and that's what we did.
Coach, you talk about experience. I think you need to point nowhere besides you. Looking at your overall record, both as a coach and at the school, 100 games over 500. Actually, I think 102 games over 500. That's an amazing record, Coach. You got to do a good job year in, year out to get it that good.
It goes back to all them teams, all those years, and just how hard they worked and just building a tradition, and these guys carrying through and just keeping the tradition alive. And, hopefully we can do it again next year.
Well, looking at the group of juniors you have coming back, you certainly will be as good as any team coming back. Coach, I want to start really where it started at the beginning of the year with JD. Opened the year with a kickoff return for a touchdown. The first play of your team season. Did you know it was going to spark a state championship run from there?
Well, actually, that wasn't me. That was my counterpart, Travis Darting, with the kickoff.
All right. Well, I got these notes from someone else. So.
I did have some punt returns, and I had 3 touchdowns in that game. So we could go on that, but once that happened, I'll for Travis. Once that happened, I think we all knew that it was going to be a special year, and we could figure it out.
Well, regardless, you contributed quite a bit. Hopefully these numbers are right too. How about 17 career interceptions? That's a pretty big number. At some point you got to think teams quit throwing at you. 17 is a big number for 4 years in high school. Talk about what it's like to be a ball hawk back there and going after the ball, reading the quarterback's eyes. What do you do to make that many picks?
Well, I got to give a lot of credit to the defensive line. A lot of them are tip passes. Every once in a while I'm in the right position, but it's not all of me. It's a lot of help from my teammates and coaches who put me in the right spot.
Well, JD, I don't know what to say. You don't take credit for things you don't do. You're not even taking credits for the things you do. Sitting next to you, Georgie Phillips. George, play offensive line. You guys had a guy with over 2,000 yards, another guy with over 1,700 yards running the football. Teams know you're going to run it, and yet you do it so well. As an offensive lineman, how do you continue to just make holes for these running backs when the defense knows it's coming?
Well, we like the guys in the backfield, so we have their back and stuff, but the coach challenges us week by week to stay low, and he preached this in the off-season, fire out as hard as we can, stay low, and shoot in the hands, and it was a whole process over the off-season, and it showed off with all our stats and everything in the end.
When your team isn't up by so much that you're still in the fourth quarter, it's got to be a ton of fun once you've worn down on the defenses, being able to just get that last 12 minutes and just beat on them when you know it's coming.
Oh, it's indescribable. It's the best.
Next to you got Trent Smart. I talked to Greg a little bit here. We heard from you. Still not sure who's going to be the player of the year for Tri-State football, but you're the Division 4 Ohio player of the year on defense. What kind of an honor is that? Could you be any prouder? I'm sure as a coach you couldn't. As a player, what more could you have done? What a great year.
Honestly, I liked my junior year a lot more than my senior year. I didn't get as much action my senior year, but it was definitely an honor, and I owe it to all the other 10 guys on the field with me and everything. They helped me with everything. And all the people that trained me throughout the offseason and all that stuff, I owe it all to them. I had to put in the time, but they put in the time for me too, so it's a lot due to them.
Coach, I'm noticing the theme with these player answers here. Everybody is thanking another person, giving the credit to someone else. That's a pretty good team mentality that you guys carry. The leader of your team here, Tyler, 26 out of the last 27 starts under center at Clinton-Massie, you won. Obviously, it's a team effort, as these guys have already said, coaches said. but still, you're the main man. 26 out of 27. I mean, that's an impressive record. Talk about what it's like to win so many games now.
Yeah, it's a big accomplishment. Once again, I'd like to thank my offensive line. They really worked hard this year. Fast, strong. And then my two backs, Wyatt and Bailey, and JD, all explosive backs. And Wyatt and I had really good connection because we're an option-based offense. We're just real fluid in that area, so that's what did it.
Well, you guys want to look at production. Take a look at these two. Almost 4,000 yards between the two of them, about 3,800 yards. We'll start with the senior Wyatt. Wyatt, 1,761 yards rushing, 23 total touchdowns. There's not too many coaches out there that wouldn't take those kind of numbers. But you didn't even lead the team here with those numbers. Pretty impressive backfield to share the ball with another guy, really two other guys in the backfield, and still get that kind of production. I mean, what a senior season of dreams there. So, I mean, we hear about all these guys talking about the offensive linemen, and I feel like they had to help you out a little bit, right?
Yeah, basically all of my credit goes to the line. They create huge results for me, Bailey, and JD. Basically, it's all them. They do it all for us. They open up the holes and we just take it.
I hate to ask you the hack question, but with a last name like Running, were you born to be a running back?
I guess you would say that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. We'll talk to Bailey here lastly, who we'll talk to again in a little bit, but Bailey, over 2,000 yards rushing as a junior, 45 total touchdowns, 8th all-time in a single season in Ohio. I mean, that's rarefied air. Ohio football is known for producing solid players year in and year out. 8th all-time in a single season. I mean, can you believe that you sit in that record as a junior?
It's pretty exciting, but again, as all these guys have said, I really have to give a lot of my credit to the big guys up front, even my backs. It's a team game, and I think we really good effort.
Well, there's no doubt, Coach. Your team is, you talk about a group effort, balance, offensively, defensively, some of the best players on both sides of the ball in Division IV. Congratulations on a great team, great season. Winning state championship or not, Coach, you put together a great group of kids. There's no doubt about it. Congratulations, you guys, and you got a good group coming back next year. Good luck.